Hello guys and welcome back. This is the second and probably the last video I'll be uploading. So essentially the idea here is I want to talk about a couple things. One is that I posted all the source code that I created over the last couple days on GitHub. Here is the link. I'll also post the URL on YouTube in the description box so that you can actually see the whole project. Remember, this is not a code that looks like Java, so you cannot really take every file and expect it's going to work. You have to actually sort of like compile the code on your own machine for the project to work. Obviously, there's not going to be much changes you need to do to get this to work, but I just thought I would let you know. The second thing, which is what the primarily this video is about, is to help you actually host the project on Google Firebase. So we will be actually deploying the project, the Vue project, and then also we're gonna deploy it on Firebase. So let's actually get into that. So in order to do this, here is actually my Firebase. This is the students list. I think I just created this one. To get started, you just need to actually go to hosting. So click on hosting, and this is going to be really self-explanatory. There's not much you have to do on your own. So you pretty much follow all the steps. So one is you need to install Firebase CLI. So I'm just going to copy this. And remember, this needs to actually run on, like on the home directory of your project. Now, I was trying to run this on VS Code. It did not really work. So actually, I had to run this in the terminal to get mine to work. So remember, otherwise, it's not going to be really possible. So I'm just going to copy this inside of the terminal. And in just a few seconds, I think it should be done. So I'm just going to click next. Now, the next step involves actually initializing the project. So you need to actually log in to your Google account. I'm just going to copy this, waiting for the other one to be done. It's already done. So I'm just going to paste it. I think I'm already logged in, so it's not going to really, require any password. I think in your case, it might, you might see a pop-up window asking you to log in. So just go ahead and log in. And then I'm just actually going to, Firebase init, just paste it in here. And you will find all these different prompts. Now, to actually navigate through these prompts, it's pretty much you're going to be using the up, down arrows as well as space bar for selection. So for this one, essentially all what we need to do is we are trying only to host our app. So I navigated to hosting and then space bar for selection, enter to go next. So we have now a couple different options. Are we going to use an existing project or creating a new project? Essentially, I'm going to be using the existing project, which is, I think, called it students list on Firebase. So this is the option I'm just going to choose. And now it's actually students list. So enter for this one. And then do you want to use as your public directory? This is really important because if you calls your public directory as dist, Google Firebase assume it's going to be called public if you hit enter, but we need to make sure we call our public directory as dist. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So make sure you choose dist, just like what I did here, and then you click enter. Configure as a single page app. That's exactly what we want. So yes. And then essentially we're ready on this end. Actually, if you go now to your project, you will see there are actually a couple different files added. Those are essentially for Firebase. We're not going to really talk about them, but essentially this is the idea. There is a couple of files added to your application. So now click next in here. Now before we deploy, we need to actually put all the static files of the project inside the deploy directory, and which is in our case called dist. So in order to do this, essentially we need to build our app. So to build our app, one quick thing I want to show you is essentially we need to build our app. So this is essentially just like when we did like when we run the server, like npm run serve to run the server. To build our app, it's npm run build. So essentially we're going to run this script. So I'm just going to go back to my terminal, npm run build, and as you see now, once this is actually built, there should be a directory here called dist once this is done. And essentially once that is done, so now build is complete. So it's actually the dist. You can see the CSS, the JavaScript, index.html, things like that. So it's actually now ready for deployment. So now I'm just gonna actually run this Firebase deploy. So I'm just gonna copy that and then paste it inside my terminal window. Shouldn't really take that long. So deploy is now complete. So now after deploying, view your app at this URL. So this is actually my app, and notice it's this is the URL. It's no longer running locally on my machine. So now if I do student 44, submit, there you go. And then if I delete it, should actually be deleted from the Firebase directory. Okay, so hope that helps. And that's actually what I want you guys to submit for your project. So essentially the idea is you're going to be, once you're done deploying the project, essentially I'm going to look at this URL. But hopefully by that time, this saga is going to be resolved and we're going to be in class and, we can communicate a lot better. Okay, so good luck to all of you guys. Again, I hope this is helpful. And again, you only need to run this at the end, but I thought I will have it up for you just in case, so we don't run out of time at the end. Thank you guys and have a good one. Bye-bye.